my goodness. Thank you all so much for coming. Oh, Sir Reginald Fancy Pants, please do pay attention. I'm waiting. Oh, fine, I'll do it. Don't worry, he wouldn't stop screaming. It's okay though, because he was painfully underdressed. Now then, cake anyone? What's up, Hanz family, and welcome to the last and final installment in my Wonderland series, turning Wonderland characters into monsters. I feel that the Mad Hatter and a clown kind of go hand in hand, so I thought they'd be perfect to pair for each other. All product details will be listed down below as usual, and let's get started. I primed my face already, and I am just putting latex on the tip of my nose, which is super stinky. Fuck latex and the smell. And then putting a little bit of paper towel and more latex on top. I'm doing this to create the clown nose, and you want to tap it as it's still wet to get that kind of deteriorated foamy texture. Just use a small pencil to start sketching out where you are going to have this ripped up smile. Wanted to take a little bit of inspiration from Alice Madness Returns, because that game is the shit. Using white face paint, I'm going to start covering my entire face, other than the ripped up smile, in stippling motions. This is to make it look like the makeup has been worn in. He's kind of like the Joker. He doesn't have time to redo his makeup all the time. He's busy killing people. I don't know. I went with a cream-based paint for the nose, just because cream-based paints stay really well on latex. I went for red and a little bit of black just to give it a little more dimension so it wasn't so flat. Now to start making this tutorial super sexy, I went in for wrinkles with that same small brown liner pencil. And this is just because as the makeup would be worn in, our wrinkles would start to really show through any expressions we made, whether it be concern, anger, worry. These wrinkles, as we express our face, would really start to wear against that makeup. I added as many around my face as I could, and then I did decide to add in a little ripped portion under the eye, and then a little staple too. Fill in the ripped portions with red face paint, and I did leave just a little bit of white open right under my eye because I did want my eye to look droopy. I knew I was going to put in a white contact after this, just that it looked like this was my whole entire eye. So right now it's pretty much just a flat piece of red poop, so we want to give it dimension to make it look like our skin is actually covering over top this ripped portion. I'm using Cherry Cola by Makeup Geek to really add in some dimension all the way up to that white line. This will basically make it look like the skin is hanging over, and the skin that's hanging over would add a shadow down onto that red. You have to think that that red is lower than your actual skin. Tiny bit of gray face paint for the staple. And since the skin is torn and broken, it needs plenty of shadow on top as well. This is just because as the skin moves, it wouldn't be flat right up against this cut. It would have curves to it, so wherever you put the brown shadow is basically where the skin would curve inwards. Just think of your skin as ripped fabric, and how the ruffles of the fabric create tons of light and shadow. You still want to keep your face in mind, where I'm adding a lot of this brown shadow underneath my cheekbones. Whenever you're doing makeup, think of how your face naturally moves too. Back onto the sexy wrinkles, we want to start deepening and darkening them as much as possible, still using Mocha. And if you need a reference picture, you want to see how the skin would move with all these wrinkles, do so, look it up. That is the best way to learn, is to look at actual reference pictures. Just like these lines I have under my eyes, as the skin puffs out, I would add some shadow underneath it. Just like my brows, as they kind of puff up, the skin underneath would have a shadow. Do you get my drift here? You get what I'm saying? I looked at a reference of the actual Mad Hatter now, and I wanted to bring in his elements, which are the pinkish purple kind of contour he has going on, or somewhat contour, and then the blue and red eye on one side. The red was already covered pretty much by my cut, and I'm using this Urban Decay electric palette just to really pack on the blue and make it look very messy. This is a creepy clown, so you don't have to have this blended out. Same with the purple. I'm packing the color on, and then I'm just really making it go all up my eye, really messy. It's been worn in, grungy, you know the deal. This shit would also go into your wrinkles too. Don't forget about those. As your wrinkles would kind of go into your eyes, the makeup would settle into that as well. Man, you guys, I thought the MAC 263 brush was like an awesome angled little liner brush, but nah, this Smith one is the shit. So I'm using a darker brown shade just to keep darkening the wrinkles, especially focusing towards where the skin would really deepen into our face. Right under my eyes and where those wrinkles meet, right under my eyes would be super dark because as that bone protrudes forward, shadow would be under there. You don't have to darken them all, just always keep in mind that the darker the wrinkle, the deeper into your skin it would go. So if it wouldn't be a deep wrinkle, don't darken it. The eye just was a little too bright for me, so I took a little bit of black cream paint and just added that a little more onto the inner portions of the eyes. And then on the blue, I used a little bit of a darker blue from that electric palette from Urban Decay, just to really bring the black and blue together. Now with a stippling sponge, you can get these off of Amazon for super cheap, like a bunch of them. I'm using alcohol-based paints to add a little bit of texture and dirt looking to my skin. Alcohol paints are great because if you tap them a little bit, you can take away some of the color, so they really blend with your skin. The nose itself needed a little bit more too. It was kind of just like, so I added a little bit more black and white to it. Same with my contour, it just wasn't deep enough, so I added a little more brown just to blend in with the wrinkles. And now I'm going to look like an idiot for drawing the 10/6. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I was trying to write 10/6 backwards, and I was looking in the mirror doing it, and I was like, yep, this is right. And I did it the right way to me, but I thought I was doing it backwards. And now watch me contemplate my entire life that I thought I was doing it reverse, but it wasn't. Now for the white highlights, they will bring the entire look together, especially where that skin would be popping forward from the cut itself and the staple. Since it is metal, it would also have a nice little glare on it of white. Wherever the wrinkle would go down into your skin, a highlight would be nearby as well. For the lips, I am using Jeffree Star's Masochist liquid lipstick, and I'm kind of continuing the smile onto one side a little more, but I wanted the most intense part of the smile to be the ripped up portion. I added a little bit of white and black cream paints just to add a little bit more to the color so it wasn't just pink, and I continued on to the other side and pulled down the lipstick while it was still a little wet because, again, this has been worn for quite some time. The dirtier the better is where you can go with this look. I almost forget about eyebrows in almost every look I do, so I'm just using some orange paint just to fill them in, making them look very hairy towards the center. And to bring in just a little more color, I'm splattering a little bit of Krylon's UV yellow paint onto one side of my face. The brows were also just a little too light, so I did add some darker orange shadow to the ends, then popped in my white contact. I thought I was done here, but then I wanted the teeth to look really messed up, so I added in some FX nicotine stain. This comes off when you brush your teeth really easily. It does taste kind of gross, but then it dries onto your teeth just fine. That's the whole tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking along with me through my Wonderland series. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what your favorite Wonderland video was as well down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Jesus Christ, you scared the fuck out of me.
I never whimper. First time in my life.
Those sound like masturbatory noises.
Terrified that I just killed someone, like, you're maybe next. I may kill you next.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna maybe happen. You